article. It was about like crunchy moms and like what a crunchy mom is. And I've been told I'm crunchy. I thought it was more like how you were like disgruntled. I don't know, just like aggravated all the time. I think always taking things the wrong way, like, ooh, like quit being so crunchy. It turns out I've been getting the definition wrong. And I was looking at it and turns out I am a crunchy mom. Someone who is generally described as a crunchy mom usually does at least one of the following. And it lists 8 different things and I match 7 of them. So 7 out of 8 of them I do. And I just found it all interesting. And so considering, turns out I am a crunchy mom, I wanted to make a video talking about why a crunchy mom does what a crunchy mom does. Get some insight. This isn't a hate video, just actually very random actually, but okay, so the first one, breastfeeds beyond 6 months and oftentimes beyond 1 year. Yeah, so my youngest is 7 months and I am planning on breastfeeding him for quite some time. The World Health Organization recommends breastfeeding for 2 years. I myself was breastfed for 2.5 years. That's how long my mom breastfed me. And so, yeah, so when people ask me how long do I plan on breastfeeding, it's at least 2 years. But the reality of it is it's really for as long as he wants to. You know, if he feels like he's ready to wean himself at like 1.5 years, I mean, we could stop then. And when I found out I was pregnant with my first, that was one of the first questions my boyfriend asked me, breast or bottle, and I was like, I mean, to me, it like, breastfeeding is a no-brainer. There was unfortunate circumstances to where I couldn't breastfeed my first daughter, but for my second kid, I mean, it's going real well. This is no shade or shame to people who formula feed, but I also don't think people who choose to breastfeed should be labeled as a hippie or crunchy. And for me, it's just, there wasn't any question about it. It's like, as long as I'm able to breastfeed, there should be no reason why I wouldn't breastfeed, you know what I mean? What also baffles me too is people are so wigged out over feeding babies breast milk. You know, everybody's like, oh, after a year, you need to get them off of breast milk and you need to put them on cow's milk. But to me, that doesn't really make any sense. If human milk isn't suitable for a baby or toddler, what makes milk from another species, in this case a cow, what makes breast milk from a cow more suitable? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any, like, that doesn't make any sense. I was talking to somebody just yesterday actually, and she's like, if your kid's like 2-3 years old, you know, forming full sentences, they need to stop. Like, at some point you got to give them the cow's milk. Like, why is breast milk from its mother not acceptable, but breast milk from a random cow is acceptable? So I've breastfed for 6 months and I continue to do so pretty much up until my son is ready to wean himself, ready to quit. There's so many health benefits to breast milk. Someone who is generally described as a crunchy mom usually co-sleeps. We do. I have 2 kids, but I'm gonna be referring to my youngest mostly because that's kind of, he's the youngest and we're kind of going through this with him. Co-sleeping, we do co-sleep with him. I do think co-sleeping can be dangerous, but it's not always the case. It doesn't always have to be that way. I think it's not safe if there's too much fluff and like too much pillows. If somebody's a heavy sleeper and will not wake up to crying and, you know, maybe moves around a lot. If somebody sharing the bed with the baby is on medication, been drinking alcohol. Again, some people just choose not to co-sleep and that's fine. And some people choose to co-sleep and that is fine. I am one of those moms that is choosing to co-sleep. With my first, we did not co-sleep with her. With her, she was a preemie, she was really small. She didn't like to be held. She didn't like close contact. So we just followed her cues and she did better sleeping alone. So we did that. So with my first, it didn't seem natural to co-sleep. It just really didn't make any sense. And she was sleeping through the night by the time she was 6 weeks old. So, you know, she was in her own bed pretty early on. But that is the complete opposite to what we are doing now. For this baby, co-sleeping just seemed the natural thing to do for this kid. I don't know what it was, but he's a lot bigger. With him, he likes that close contact. You know, with him breastfeeding, he eats during the night as well, so it makes it a lot easier. Even though I never was against co-sleeping, is something I never thought I would do, but again, with second time around, is just, it's what's worked best, and so it's what we're doing. Third one, wears their baby. I wear my baby all the time. I love baby wearing, and it just, again, it's just what seems natural. I mean, if he's fine playing by himself or his big sister, you know, that's one thing, you know, let him like down on the ground, do some tummy time. I do think your baby needs their own space. It's just so nice for like when he's crying because he wants to be held, but I need to get something done, just strap him in and he gets what he wants. He gets to be held, he gets that close contact and that comfort, and I still get to get my chores done, and I still get to tick things off my to-do list. Since he's bigger now, sometimes I do put him on my back in the carrier. It's just so convenient to be holding your baby but still have your hands free at the same time. I mean, and then also with baby wearing, you get to do things with your baby that you wouldn't ordinarily get to do. Like hiking, for example. Like if I didn't baby wear for that, I mean, we couldn't go hiking. I mean, I've literally seen people on hikes and they're literally pushing the baby stroller up the damn mountain. Baby wearing is just the simplest and most realistic and just the best option. And if that makes me a crunchy mom, then I guess I'm a crunchy mom. Fourth one is has a natural birth. This is another one just really made no sense to not have a natural birth. I mean, I'm not ignorant. Like, I know sometimes things happen and you need an epidural, like a C-section. To my knowledge, as long as you have a C-section, you have to get an epidural. Correct me if I'm wrong. Both of my kids, I had unmedicated natural vaginal births. For me, as long as I was allowed to do that, it didn't make any sense why I wouldn't do that. I mean, I'm giving birth. I don't expect it to be a walk in the park. I know it's gonna be painful, but it was a pain I wanted to experience. I didn't want to take any pain away. I wanted to go through the natural process of childbirth. I didn't want to alter anything. I can't speak from experience, but from people that I've talked to who have had both epidurals and natural births have said that the epidural takes the pain away. Like, you're so much more comfortable, but you're more likely to have some serious tearing because you can't feel anything down there, so you're pushing a lot harder than you otherwise would have. If you have a natural birth, you can get up and walk around and whatever, but if you have an epidural, you have to stay in bed. I've talked to mothers who have had an epidural and they don't even remember their kid being born. They're just so like out of it. And it just, I did not want that. Again, this is no shade to anybody who chooses an epidural. It's just, it's not what I wanted. Next one, you favor natural remedies for sickness. This one, again, I do. I can take some Tylenol or ibuprofen or, you know, some cough and cold medicine. It'll help for maybe 2 to 3 hours, but then I have to take some more again. It'll help for another few hours, then I have to take some more. It'll help, you know what I mean? It's like I have to constantly, routinely take it. If medication really worked, you wouldn't need to routinely take it. When I take over-the-counter or prescription medication, not only does it almost always not help the issue I'm trying to solve, it almost, like, it creates another issue. I like natural remedies because it works so much better for me. Is so much better for my body. Like for pain, a common one I take is magnesium drops, and just put it in some water, take some of that, and I take it once, rest, relax, maybe even take a nap, and you know, after a few hours it's gone and it doesn't come back. We will literally juice turmeric, like just take it as a shot or like just straight turmeric juice. A few hours later, I mean, the pain is gone. And we don't find ourselves like in pain like all the time. It's just, in my experience, like natural remedies just work so much better and there's no side effects. This is the one on this list that I do not do, and that is uses cloth diapers or practices EC. EC is elimination communication, where you never put your baby in diapers. I just see that being a mess. I just don't know enough about that. Cloth diapers, I'm so into cloth diapering. It's something I wish I was doing. Diapers are so wasteful. Plastic disposable diapers, I mean, it's absolutely insane. It is not good for the environment at all. I don't cloth diaper because my boyfriend is not in support of cloth diapering. That is something he is not down for doing. And I feel like that's something that we both need to be on the same page about. If it was just me doing all the diapers, that's one thing. But since we're both sharing the load and sometimes he's often changing the diapers more than I am, I'm in full support of it. He's not down for it. So the next one is, you're a crunchy mom if you eat a healthy diet and avoid commercial junk food for yourself and for your family. And this one, I don't know why this doesn't make sense. Why is eating a healthy diet a hippie thing? Like, why is that so bizarre? Like, to me, eating healthy for you, your kids, you know, your family, that should just be the norm. Unfortunately, it isn't. I mean, I work at a grocery store and you will not believe the kind of stuff that people buy. It's like so many people, they will literally buy hundreds of dollars worth of groceries. There is no produce, like literally no fruits, no vegetables. Everything is Pop-Tarts, DiGiorno pizza, those frozen pizzas, French toast sticks, Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, toaster strudels. None of it is healthy. It's just a bunch of sweets, basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, that is the majority of what I'm seeing people buying. I mean, maybe it's just the area I'm in. Eating unhealthily has become the norm. And I think it's really sad. I think everybody should be spending, you know, money on healthy groceries. I think everybody should be investing in their health. People will tell me like, oh, well, you're young, your kids are young, you don't have to worry about health issues yet. You know, you don't have to worry about that until you're in your 50s, 60s. You don't have to worry about that until you're in your old age. Or maybe if we took care of ourselves from the start, or at least, you know, when we're younger, maybe we won't ever have to worry about that when we're older. You know, she has junk on occasion, but see, that's the thing, it's on occasion. It's not a regular basis at all. And that's how I think it should be. I think everybody should be eating a predominantly healthy diet and then junk food kept to a minimum. But unfortunately, junk food is to the max and the health food is to a minimum or just completely non-existent in the household. The last one is your anti-routine infant circumcision. And yes, I don't jump on families if they choose to circumcise their baby boys. We did not circumcise Lucius. It's his body, it should be his decision. I'm not gonna go around removing parts of his body just because I feel like it. If he wants to get circumcised, fine, but I want that to be his decision. I don't want to make that decision for him. I mean, if other parents choose to circumcise their kids, I mean, fine. That's just not something we were interested in. That's just not something we wanted to do. So do I fit the description of a crunchy mom? Yes. Am I going to start labeling myself as a crunchy mom? No. Just breastfeeding and co-sleeping and baby wearing and, you know, eating healthfully, I don't think these should be hippie things. I think the reason why I wanted to make this video too is like when people say like, oh, you're a crunchy mom or like crunchy this, crunchy that, usually it's a negative connotation. It's usually used in a negative way. I don't find any of these things negative. I mean, you're not doing any harm. You know, at the end of the day, people are just doing what they feel is best for them and their family, you know, whether, you know, you choose to breastfeed or formula feed, co-sleep or not. I hope you found this video enjoyable and I will see you in another video. Bye.
I want to say cheese.
You want to say cheese?
Yeah.
Get ready. Cheese. He doesn't know what he's supposed to. I think this is funny. Hi. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.